Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Hello. It is I, the Jim, if I could say my own name, Jimjo Babalu of the Comic Salad Podcast. I should probably change our logo. And I'm here soon, solo. Boom, change the logo. Here's solo. The Omni Dog is indisposed today. He is pooping right now, and he's going to be pooping for the next couple hours. He did say he was up to something, but he told me not to tell y'all what he was up to. So I told him I would tell you that he was pooping the whole time, and he said that was okay. Dogs go and do that. Anyway, welcome to the Comic Salad Podcast, where we talk about all things food and comic related. I'm not great at leading shows on my own. I have ADD and I'm not currently medicated, so it's hard for me to keep up with everything. So I'm going to do my best. Anyone who's seen me do a solo show before knows that I stumble around stuff, but I'm going to do my best for y'all, I promise. But you know what's not hard, and we can all do our best with, is ordering books from InStockTrades.com, the wonderful sponsor of our show. They've been sponsoring us for years, and they have fantastic choices as far as comics and manga go. They have international shipping, of course, so all of y'all who are tuning in from outside of the US can take advantage of their great prices and deals. If you're within the US, you get free shipping on orders of $50 or more. And if you make an order within a week, you get 2% off with the loyalty discount. Fantastic packaging, great discounts, great customer service from InStockTrades.com. All right, so let's start running through saying hello to everyone that is in here. That was me. Hello. Thank you for joining. That was me again. James sharing my YouTube link. I did just put a video up yesterday. Hello, Javi. Hello. Welcome. Hello. All right, I've greeted everyone. I'm not good at highlighting the comments, and that's the part that really gums me up. And that's why whenever I'm not the solo host, whenever Jess or Gio is with me, they are the ones that pull in the comments and stuff, because I get so distracted reading them, and that really messes me up. Anyway, we're gonna have a fun, quick little show today. That was a pretty cool Nintendo Direct. There was some cool stuff that I was excited about. I, of course, would love to see a little bit more from the new Zelda game, the Zelda remake, but it's very cool that they confirmed what we've heard, that they are doing a full remake of Ocarina of Time. So that's, of course, going to be cool. That's a hugely nostalgic game for me, and I think one of the most important games of all time as far as like being such a huge step from like going into 3D like adventure games like that. It's very cool. So I'm excited to see more stuff. But yeah, there was the other thing I think for me that was a highlight. I don't know if this was already like mentioned or announced anywhere, but that the new Splatoon game that's like a solo, a single player adventure type thing. I've never been huge on Splatoon because I'm not very competitive. So it's not the easiest type of stuff for me to get into, but I've always enjoyed the world and the setting and the characters and stuff. So it was cool to see that. It is a big, cool month for manga, and I'm going to use this as the segue to talk about some of my things that I picked up this past week or so, things that I don't think that I've shown since the last Tuesday show. But Billy Bat was a huge debut, and of course, another one that people are looking forward to is Aoashi. We're finally getting this in English from Titan, and it is a really, really nicely put together volume. I am very pleased with Titan. I was apprehensive because they haven't done anything but single volume manga so far, and I know, of course, with their books and their comics and stuff, they do bigger things all the time. But I was worried, what type of build are they going to give this? Is it going to be worthwhile? And they didn't disappoint. It is an oversized volume, so it's not small. It's actually slightly bigger than like Viz signature size, like what you get from like Kingdom and stuff like that. It's slightly bigger, just a little bit. And the binding, the spine, I've read through this. There's not a single fold, tear, crease or anything. I'm going to be making a video about this specifically, but it's so solid. Like, I wish more publishers that do 3-in-1s like this would make them make sure that the spines are that solid, because a lot of times with the ones that are a lot thicker, you of course have to read a little bit more carefully, so that you don't crease and bend that spine. There was nothing like that for Awashi. That was like my favorite part about it. The only downside, I think, of the physicality of it is that they do use a thinner paper, which you can tell because like that's pretty thin for a 3-in-1. And there is some art that bleeds through on the pages, but I will be very honest. I have to call that out if I'm reviewing the book. But when I was actually reading the book, I didn't notice it, and that I was so engrossed with the actual narrative of the story, I didn't notice the art bleeding through. But I have to point it out. Let me catch up with the yes, pick it up. They did a pretty good job with that release for Billy Bat. Mine's just, I think, right over there. No, it's in a stack over here. I can't reach it, wherever it is. I just wish it was a larger trim size, but they did a great job, and I'm very happy that it's out. Yeah, Awashi looks great quality wise. The physicality of it is fantastic. Hello. I should hopefully have the video up soon. I just have to get a little bit of time to film it. It shouldn't be a very long one. I just realized I didn't actually go on my lunch break at work, so I'm gonna do that so no one's pinging me while we're live. Awful weather. We have had awful weather for about a week, and it's finally sunny out, and I'm finally getting the opportunity to mow the lawn. But it's so overgrown because it's been like 3 weeks since we mowed, and then it just started raining incessantly, and it's like completely overgrown, and it's going to be a pain when I do get a chance. Hello, welcome. Mars is another one I'm really excited for. It's a good looking hardcover. So some other books that I got. I got something a little different, a little interesting. This is what I'm reading right now, is Meat Canyon's comic Melvin's Macabre. I'm not even actually a huge fan of Meat Canyon. Like, I've watched some of his videos, some of the Papa Meat stuff. If he's a uncouth person, if people don't like him for any specific reason, I apologize. I just thought this because he mentioned that he was inspired by Hideshi Hino, and I know he's a fan of like Junji Ito. So I went ahead and bought this one, and it's expensive. I will say that. I thought it was going to be a larger book for how much it cost. On his website, it's like $50 plus shipping, but whatever. I pulled the trigger. I went ahead and did that. And there's 4 stories in here. I've read 3 out of the 4, and they're pretty fun. If you are a fan of like Hino and Ito and horror manga and stuff, he does draw a lot of inspiration from that, but he's doing a very American character here. So very American situations. But I don't think many people would pull the trigger so quickly as I did, but it's fun. It's some cool stuff. But the price is definitely a deterrent. It'd be nice if that was probably like $30 or something. Omnis, the comic portion of the Comic Salad podcast, Hulk: Return of the Monster, which I believe is still unavailable. It might be available. I don't know. On the distributor level, I believe it's unavailable. But I was able to get a copy. And I'm very excited because this is one of my favorite Hulk runs. If you are a fan of the Immortal Hulk, I think that you'll dig this. Less of a body horror vibe that this has, but more so like Bruce Jones writing this does a lot of horror type stuff in it. And it's very interesting. I really enjoy it. I think it's one of the best Hulk runs, and it's really kind of unsung as far as Hulk comics go. And you get really, really fantastic art from it's most of it is going to be either John Romita Jr. or Mike Deodato Jr. And all of it is great looking. If you are a fan of the Hulk movies and stuff, I think you get some of the things in here that pull from those movies. I don't want to like mess up my binding here. It's a good volume. I'm really excited about it, and it put me into a little like loop of wanting to um pick up replacement copies of like all the Hulk, because if y'all are familiar like with my collection before everything was stolen, I had like a full collection of Hulk stuff, and now I'm kind of rebuilding from the ashes, if you will. And so I did buy another book after this one to whet my appetite of replacing things. Um, it's real good. I think it's got kind of at least the first half of the story has kind of an almost a noir feel. Like it almost feels like a noir story. If there's a way to preview it on like one of the digital things, I would recommend reading a couple issues or something and trying it out because it's really interesting. And was part of what made me into such a big Hulk fan, because I had more of the interpretation that a lot of non-Hulk readers have, where it's like before you actually get to know the character, you're just like, oh, he's the Hulk, he's strong, blah blah blah. But there's so much more that people do with the character, and from this run onward, I was like, oh wow, there's just all kinds of crazy stuff they can do. Then we got Dokken Dark Wolverine, big boy right here. And this has like all of Dawkins' material from his first appearances in Wolverine Origins. It has Origins 11 through 15. That was his arc that introduced him, as well as issues 47 and 48, which cross over with issues of Dark Wolverine. It has the first series where he took over the Wolverine title and it became Dark Wolverine, issues 75 through 90. Dokken Dark Wolverine 1 through 23 and 9.1. Dark Reign, the list Punisher, which is where he cuts Punisher into bits and he turns into Frankencastle. And then it also collects issues 19 through 20 of Frankencastle, which are part of a crossover. And X23 7 through 9, also part of a crossover, as well as Dark Wolverine Saga, Dokken Saga, and material from What If, Wolverine Father, and Wolverine Road to Hell #1. So a lot of material in here. And I've read most of this already. I admittedly have not read the 23 issue ongoing series. That's material that I've never gotten to read. But, oh man, we get some great Tony Moore art from the Frankencastle stuff. But this is fun, and I'm a big X-Men guy, so I have to. I feel obligated. I feel like I have to. It's my rules. I have to get all the X related omnis at some point. So I was able to get that. Here's a replacement for those keeping up with me replacing my library. Hellblazer by Jamie Delano, Volume 2. I wanted to make sure to get this one back on the shelf before the Paul Jenkins one, because I already have Delano 1 and Garth Ennis. So now I can have all of those in succession. So this is really exciting. I don't think I ever got to read this material before. I've read the first part of Delano's run, and then I've read Garth Ennis's run, but I don't think I've read all of the material that's in this omnibus. And this has not just his issues of Hellblazer, but it has 23 through 40, but it also has the Horrorist issue 1 and 2. Issue 84, he came back later to do an issue. He did material in 250, the Pandemonium graphic novel, Bad Blood 1 through 4 miniseries, and Secret Files Hellblazer #1. So it's very much a complete like creator collection between this and Volume 1. So I'm really glad to have that one back on the shelf. And then not brand new, but pretty new is Batman by Chip Zdarsky, Volume 1. This one came out like a couple months ago, and I skipped out on it and decided to finally grab it. I haven't read Zdarsky's run on Batman, but I do also collect all the mainline Batman omnis and most of the like spin-off and stuff. So this was going to make its way to my collection soon enough. And I will be trying to read that pretty soon. Hopefully I can read it before a second volume comes out. I just got a lot of backlog going on right now. And then we've got Void Rivals Book 2, and ending off this haul, Transformers Book 2. So that's the kind of the lesser exciting stuff for the show, because we know that with the Comic Salad podcast, most people are tuning in for the food portion. At least I'm assuming y'all are, because that's the part that Jess and I tend to have the most fun with. And we got a lot of food stuff to talk about. And I originally, on the Thursday show, I told people to tune in and be prepared to talk about the whole Lego thing going on with bricks and minifigs. And I wanted to have Jess here for that because I think he was interested in what's going on, or maybe he didn't even know. I don't know. He might have not even known about all that. And I was gonna have a tete-a-tete, I guess, about it with Jess and discuss the whole thing. And it's a little harder for me to sit here and discuss it by myself to like the chat. But so I might have to save that for next week. But by the time next week comes around, there might be even more wrinkles in this whole thing because as of today, there's a whole nother little wrinkle that's coming out on it as well. But if you're completely unaware of the situation there, and maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more, but just to give people the context if you're tuning in right now, um, there's someone had a few years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, there was a gentleman who had a massive collection of Star Wars Legos that was estimated to be valued at about $200,000. Having a bunch of health problems, he made the decision to that he needed to sell these Legos to help him and his family during this time that he's in really poor health. And this was, a hard decision because he had intended on these being for his like grandchildren's college fund and stuff like that. Anyway, so he goes to the local franchise of the chain store, Bricks and Minifigs, which is a chain that deals with Legos and stuff in the US, but they're not like officially with Lego. They're not like Lego branded, if that makes sense. I'm trying to make sure that I separate Lego corporate official from Bricks and Minifigs. But they're an official retailer. And they're franchised, so that means if you own a franchise, it's kind of like a McDonald's or something. Like you have franchisees that run the stores and stuff, and they have their own crews and they have their own everything. But they're just taking like the labeling and branding and stuff. Anyway, so he goes to a local location and does a consignment with them. So drops off this stuff and basically like signs the contract that you will sell these for me and get a commission, and you'll pay me out as they sell. Like pawn shops and stuff do. So very typical stuff, and it is within their laws and their regulations, their rule books at Bricks and Minifigs do allow for that. The person who was running that franchise had to move out of the country and needed to pay out. In so many words, basically, the next franchise owners that were going to buy that franchise from her came in and kind of just kicked her out of the doors. Said, "Get out of here." And she's like, "Well, what about the consignment? Like, I need to pay this guy out. I owe him money. I'm still trying to work on the books. I don't know exactly what I owe him right now." They're like, "Don't worry about it. Corporate's going to take over." And it was someone on the phone from corporate who said that. And so they kick her out, and then like nothing happens. The guy doesn't get paid out. He asks to get his stuff back. There's a lot of like litigious language in the contract, of course, that I'm not going to like go into because it's a lot of information, but they just don't want to do it, and they start acting like they don't even know what's going on. And so the guy is like, "Well, I'm going to take you to court," because it's not the sick guy, it's his son that's dealing with all this. So the son is, I'm gonna, I'll take y'all to court. And they're like, "You can try to take us to court, but we're just gonna make it last for longer than it would be worth. And you're gonna lose more money than this whole thing is worth." Okay. So time passes, he's unable to get his stuff back, and eventually YouTuber Reckless Ben gets involved, and that's where it exploded into the mainstream news. That's where everyone now knows about this. And he made a video that was kind of like, his whole goal was, I need to piss off Bricks and Minifigs enough that they will take us to court. So he comes up with several different schemes to try and get them to take that group to court, Ben and the Lego owner, etc. It kind of works. And at the end of the video, like, he won a case that would have allotted them $100,000 across several small claims. And he goes to collect, and they shut the store down. And they're just like, well, we don't have to pay. We shut it down. This is where it kind of went viral, is because he put up a giant vinyl sign over the building that was like, you know, we stole from a family and closed up, so now we don't have to pay, whatever it said. And that went everywhere and people were talking about it and stuff. His video goes up, it blows up. He does a second part where he actually goes to where corporate headquarters is, tries to again talk to them about stuff. A lot of things happen. It's like 2 hours of content between the two videos. So I'm not going to say everything, but in the end, it's gotten even more litigious, and it's gotten to the point where like there's even more filings, court filings, everything's going on. And he came out today, Ben, the YouTuber, to say like, I can't talk about it anymore. So like the third part of all of this is ready to go. Like the video is ready to go, but I've been served. And if I do talk about them, if I even mention the company's name, I'm going to go to jail. So now it's kind of, that's the latest of it. The company themselves has been in a ton of hot water over the past, especially couple of weeks since everything went big and public. And so they have made a few statements legal wise that definitely some trying to save face on there. But anyway, the obviously I'm a Lego person. I enjoy Lego. But the other funny thing through all of this was I talked like last week or 2 weeks ago about my time when I was unemployed and I almost worked with that was funny, but also illegal. Because they're like, it's illegal to flee when you have a warrant out for your arrest. So he did have to come back. Anyway, but I talked about my unemployment and how I almost got a job with like Skybound. But another thing that I almost did was become one of the managers for a new Bricks and Minifigs location, because a friend of mine, her like ex was opening a location locally here. And she reached out and was like, hey, my ex is opening this store. He wants me to be a manager. Can you like manage it with me? I was like, I don't got a job. Yeah. And the timeline just kept getting pushed back and back and back, like months at a time, until I got a job. And I was like, I guess I can't help you with that. And it's never happened. I don't know if like that location ever did actually open. I think at least one other location locally has opened since then. But I was thinking like it would have been insane if I did get that. And by chance, like 2 years later, I was still working at a Bricks and Minifigs. Like I was still a manager of a location. And all of a sudden I'm having to deal with all of this blowback because it's like they're franchised. And while the corporate, like Bricks and Minifigs corporate is in a really hot water and it has nothing to do with individual franchises except for the ones involved, all of the individual franchises still are getting flack for it and look terrible for it. And I'm like, that would have been, I can imagine myself coming home from work and being like, I had to deal with all kinds of like online comments about how we're terrible and we don't even have to do anything. We don't have anything to do with it. So that's kind of where we're at now. I don't have much to, if Jess was here, we could have a back and forth and that would be fun, but maybe next week when there's more, I'm sure there's going to be more developments in the next week. With that, food. So, we have stuff to share. I have stuff to share. There's new announcements of snacks and items. So y'all from the EU can make fun of us some more about the crazy fucking snacks that we like to eat here. But I did finally get my hands on the super stuffed Pop-Tarts that Jess was able to get a little while ago. And I did try one each of the 3 flavors. We have the caramel. It's a cinnamon caramel, frosted strawberry, and molten lava cake. Very quickly, I'd say, I think my favorite might be the cinnamon caramel. Unexpected. It just a very good flavor. The strawberry is very good as well. It tastes like Pop-Tarts used to taste. So that's very nice. It's nostalgic, of course. And then the molten lava cake was surprisingly disappointing to me. I did only try them each warmed up from the toaster. But I expected, actually, no, I didn't heat up my strawberry one. I did the other 2. But I expected that the molten lava cake would be best heated up because it's molten lava cake. But maybe I needed to heat it up more. Maybe I should have done the microwave instead of the toaster. I don't know. But it wasn't as good. Have a sweet tooth and poor judgment. Probably try a good amount of these. Me too. That's exactly what my problem is. I have a sweet tooth. I need to go to the dentist. I'll tell you that much. And whenever we go to the store, I immediately gravitate towards all these new snacks and stuff. But I knew, because I think on the last show, Jess was like, when you go to Walmart, it's going to be on an end cap. And I was like, okay. And I went to Walmart and it wasn't on an end cap. It was actually in the Pop-Tart section. They just finally added it. But I was like, oh, finally. The strawberry is good. It really, like, it's pretty jammy. They definitely, like with the standard Pop-Tarts, they've cut back on the amount of filling that they put in those. I don't know how long ago they made that change, but putting the 50% more, I believe it is more than they used to have. But it does make it actually taste more like the old type. And so I recommend it. Again, surprisingly, my favorite was the salted caramel, whatever you want to say. And we found a couple of other cool things. This is, I don't know if they've brought these back, because we went in and commented, like, I haven't seen these in years, but I don't know if maybe they brought them back or they've always been there and I wasn't paying attention, but they got grips. Saw these at Walmart. And if you're unfamiliar, it's just tiny Cheez-Its, little itty bitty tiny cheese crackers. The whole point being you rip it open and you just toss them back. Have a mouthful like you're eating nuts or something. So that's fun. And Carly loves tiny things. So she gravitates towards stuff like that. And we have like mini Nutter Butter cookies and stuff like that she loves. And then another one that I had found that I hadn't heard of was the white cheddar spicy Cheeto Puffs. Big fan of the white cheddar Cheeto Puffs. And I'm a big fan of spicy food. I think that in my age, spicy food is not a fan of me. Getting to that point, unfortunately. But these are really good, and they're not like flaming hot. It's kind of more akin to the cheddar jalapeno Cheetos, but it has that the white cheddar flavor instead of the very super duper. Not that this is not artificial. It says no artificial colors, no artificial flavors. So I guess it's not an artificial, but the very artificial orange one is very different from the white cheddar, and it has a spice to it that's not jalapeno. At least it doesn't taste the same as the cheddar jalapeno, and it's not the flamin' hot flavor either. So it's pretty good if you are a fan of all of the above. Now, the one food item that I didn't get to do last week, Freddie, friend of the show, sometimes guest of the show as well, sent a bunch of snacks over from Puerto Rico. I have to clear all the other snacks out. Sad. And I made myself believe that it was because my taste buds have changed, because that happens, I think, every 7 years or so. I'm like, oh, I just don't like these things as much. It's been forever since I've had this. Maybe it tastes different than I remember. And then come to find out, no, they actually have changed recipes. So I was gaslighting myself in some ways. So Freddie sent some snacks over from Puerto Rico along with some books that I bought from him. And we can try those before going into, he said this one sucked. Before going into the new snack news, I'm trying to make sure I have everything. Some of these I'm more excited than I am about others, I will say. Okay, so I'm not going to try this one just because I've already tried it and I don't want to waste y'all's time. But this was as a red lollipop, a red lolly, a red sucker, whatever you want to call it. Man, that's some horse shit. I don't use no butter anymore. I thought that this was gonna just the look of it. Personally, I thought it was gonna be a cinnamon thing, or maybe a fruit flavored thing, but it tastes like almond flour. And he said, when I commented that, he was like, yes, it does taste like almond flour, but it's I think he said sesame seed. flavored. I believe that's what he said. And I was like, that's such a weird flavor for a sucker, for a hard candy, but it tastes like a shout out PR, shout out Geo, working right now, couldn't join. But it tastes like almond. It tastes like something made with almond. Um, so that's my reaction on that. We have several of these, which I think is guava. He sent me a message. This looks pretty messy, so I'm gonna save this for a second from now. And we have a few of these coconut snacks. There's a white one, a brown one, and a black one. And he said that the black one was trash. And then we've got some other guava fruit snacks. These look like something more that I grew up with. I can actually show you the one that I grew up with. And then a tahine lollipop. So, excuse me. So I'm going to try one of these coconut snacks. Taste buds changing is fun because when I was a kid, I did not like coconut at all, but I have come around quite a bit on coconut. So this type of snack, I would have immediately been like, no, I'm not. So this was very good. Very good straight up coconut flavor. I have fancy bakeries up and down the road. Fancy bakeries. But I like processed sugar. So sue me. I go to the gas station. Go to the corner store. Okay, so this one is, the brown one is coconut and guava. I like both of those things. It's very guava smelling in a good way. But the flavor is not super strong. I'd really like if the guava flavor was stronger in that one. It's kind of there. And I think that that's good for a lot of people, but because there are a lot of people, if it was stronger, they'd be like, oh, it's too much. No, it's hitting now. It's on the back of the tongue. And third one that he said was bad. I think it's coconut with like toasted seeds or something is what it looks like. I don't know. But Freddie warned me about this one. Oh yeah, it smells kind of burnt. And it's weirdly sour. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. That's not the worst thing I've had this week, but it's the least best of those. All right. So is this one going to be... This is going to be the... He's going to have to tell me if that's the goat milk candy. Because that's kind of what it looks like. Yeah, I think it is. Almost guava with the... God, I forget what it's called. Someone in the chat might know. Two more parts of this little miniature mukbang, and then we can... Oh my gosh, this is slimy. I think something busted in here. I think one of these busted open and got a little bit of guava paste in there, but this is just a small little thing of guava paste. I'm going to cut this and also wash my hands. So I'm going to scooch out of here for a moment. Okay. So this one is very reminiscent of something that I have. Yeah. Um, so what we have, what my grandmother used to get all the time is this membrillo. And we would have this, she'd have it as a snack with like cheese and stuff all the time when we were growing up. She actually gave me this one because she can't have sweet stuff anymore. And I think she like is given gifts or she wins stuff at bingo because she goes to bingo every like week. And she told me to take this a while ago. And I keep forgetting that I have it, but I open the fridge and I always see it. And it's just a blast of the past. Okay, last snack before we go into the food news is the Bon Bon Bum bubblegum pop with tahini. And I'm probably just going to suck on this for the duration of the show. For anyone who's not familiar with tahini, it is a spicy and kind of citrusy seasoning that's used for all kinds of things as a topping on all kinds of snacks and whatnot. So this is a watermelon flavored lollipop that is seasoned with tahini. So that's tahini. Exactly what I expected it to taste like. I don't think I can actually suck on this throughout the duration of the show. Anyway, that's my little Puerto Rican snack mukbang. And now let me get my screen ready. Sorry, I saw a work notification. I'm going to get my screen ready so that I can share the food stuff. I don't think I've shared a single thing since last week. It's mostly just been James. So shout out James for keeping us up to date. What was the last one that we did? What's a week ago? The second? Excuse me. Okay, the last one we did was the McDonald's World Cup cups that they're doing, which I heard I was told a lot of the people from overseas were not doing so well with the heat over here. And unfortunately, by this time next week, they're going to be here in Houston, and it's not fun. It's deadly. Okay, let me share my screen. Thank you for sharing the Discord link, James. Share screen. It doesn't want to share my tab, so I'll just share this here. Close that. I don't think there's anything y'all gum me up for. I do have a little tab for my tier lists because as we watch movies and stuff, we like to just make little tier lists. So we have some of those going on at all times. Anyway, so let's see what we have since last week. So first, I shared a thing. It was just people talking about their top 10 sandwiches. And I wanted that to be a discussion of this week. But Jess is out pooping for however long. And so we can't do that right now. James shared BTS World Tour, Arirang. Here's another popcorn bucket. At least this is an actual bucket, an actual drink, cup, and not some crazy stunt stuff. But those are at Regal. And James shared that they were doing some sales on some popcorn buckets and whatnot. Some new stuff heading to stores. Mocha Swiss rolls. Dipped cheesecake bites. So I guess frozen treats of Snickers. 7 crepes ready to heat and eat, but they look like soccer balls, footballs. Ranch seasoned peanuts, sweet cayenne barbecue seasoned peanuts, and Campbell's chunky Parmesan garlic chicken noodle. I know that's probably fine and inoffensive, but for some reason, the like thought of a Buffalo Wild Wings flavored chicken noodle soup is not really vibing well for me. Barbie and Duncan, pink strawberry cold foam menu. We've got a whole bunch of drinks: double strawberry, ultimate pink, pink mango, pink cherry, pink protein, pink cherry protein. Daydream refreshers, strawberry cloud matcha, chocolate covered strawberry cloud latte, pink pineapple lemonade refresher. That's the one I want. Almond strawberry shortcake iced coffee, and strawberries and cream cloud Dunka latte. I don't know where the closest Dunkin' is to me. There's a so the Scary Movie bong bucket was not real. This might be. Phone joking with the old "what's up." It doesn't look like it carries much popcorn at all, which I don't think I'm showing. Oh, I am showing that. Okay, cool. Which I've already spoken about ad nauseum, that I like. What's the point of it? It doesn't actually hold much popcorn. Let's see. Toy Story 5. We got some more popcorn buckets. Is it supposed to be just like a Pixar ball? And some drinks with the little toppers. Those are fine. Those are inoffensive. An actual bucket. I'm guessing this goes on top of the popcorn bucket. That's fine as well. These are at, I guess, Cineplex. Thank you back, Cato, for sharing the Ice Cream Man Red Band trailer, which is unrelated to the Clint Howard movie or the comic that came from Image over the past several years. I was excited about a America 250 celebratory item that was not trying to emulate a bomb pop, because that's what every single, like even Bush's Baked Beans did their bomb pop flavored beans, and Bluebell finally did something slightly different. Instead of being the typical cherry, blue raspberry, and lemon, this one is strawberry ice cream with strawberries, vanilla ice cream, and blueberry flavored ice cream with blueberries. If I see this, I will get it because it sounds great. The IMAX Odyssey popcorn bucket. This seems kind of pointless, but at least it holds a lot of popcorn, seemingly. The Minions and Monsters collabing with Wendy's for a banana frosty swirl. I'm guessing it's just vanilla frosty, and then they put some banana syrup on it to give it the banana flavor. This video, there's the like viral, I guess, pineapples in Kool-Aid. Like people are selling jars of pineapples in syrup, and then they pour Kool-Aid powder in there and mix it up. And I've commented that like someone comparing that to Jonestown Massacre was crazy. Like I laughed because of how insane the comment was. But the Jonestown Massacre proves that it's true. You can kill 900 people, but you can't kill an idea, especially if that idea is consuming a potentially lethal Kool-Aid concoction because all your friends are doing it. A 380-gram pineapple jar sugar rush will have you channeling the spirit of cult reader Jim Jones. Quote, "There is no heaven up there, so we're going to have to make heaven down here. Dabiga." Anyway, Taco Bell, my favorite, is doing some new items on the 18th. Fajita Street Chalupas. Looks like chicken, but since they're not steak or slow roasted. Okay, I was going to say since they're not specifying chicken, I'm guessing that there's going to be a steak version as well. Chicken fajita nacho fries. So I guess they're getting fajita meat is the main thing here. Cinnamon sugar churros and the Cantina chicken / veggie Mexican pizza. This is not new. It's staying on the menu is what they're saying. And this is really good. Of the last batch of stuff they did, this was fantastic. I've never been a huge fan of the Mexican pizza, but this was a really good take on that. And it wasn't just like switching out the meat, but they kind of did different types of veggies on there as well. Made for a really good combination. Bimbo, Marinella, and Hershey's have croissantines, minis, chocolate-filled mini croissants. Mantechoks, Hershey's, filled muffins, Pinguinos, filled cupcakes, and a Hershey's snack cake. So going all out. Those could be good. I might, if I see those at the store, I'll probably grab them. It was Donut Day on the 5th, if y'all missed out. Carvel Passport to Flavor, Dubai Decadent Sunday Dasher, Orange Shake with Fanta, USA M&Ms, Carvalanche, Affogato with rich coffee, Dubai Decadent Scooped, and a soccer ball cake. Toy Story 5 Ices at Regal, Beyond Infinity Freeze, Orange Alert, and Cherry Roundup. They actually had these, I think the last time I went in. I don't know if it was early or not, but I'm pretty sure they were actually, it wasn't even Regal. I went to an AMC when I just remember seeing Cherry Roundup. Sweet treats available now. Popeye's Blueberry Lemon Cheesecake Cup. That sounds delightful. Oreo Bits at Wetzel's Pretzels. So I'm guessing those are pretzel bites with, vanilla cream and Oreo crumbs. Firecracker, there you go. It's once again Firecracker, Bomb Pop, all that stuff. Cookie pie. Funnel cakes at Wiener Schnitzel. Man, my closest Wiener Schnitzel is like 40 minutes away. Oreo and chocolate on top of funnel cake. Apple pie filling on top of funnel cake. And then the classic strawberry caramel or chocolate on top of the funnel cake. Nothing Bundt cakes, s'mores with Hershey's. And at Dairy Queen, drumstick, Nestle drumstick with peanuts blizzard treat. Domino's has new s'mores lava cakes. And then we're going to have to come back to this one for Jess whenever he's here. But I think that Jess would be able to guess this one. If I might tell him like the wrapping kind of puts it off. But if that wasn't there, I think he would be able to guess that one. Let's see. Chick-fil-A having kids meal stuff again. I don't know if it's been I remember they used to just have you could get little books and stuff. Cow case, clip a cow, 1 of 6 games included. Collect all 3 cow cases. Use cow case to hold game pieces. Hasbro cow games, cow cart. It's all the cow related stuff because Chick-fil-A's got the cows that say eat more chicken. Subway and Moana movie meal deal. Any meal plus $1 comes with a $15 movie code that you can use on Fandango. So they're trying to get people in the theaters for that live action. And then different collector's cups, Moana, Pua, Maui, Mini Maui, and Hey Hey. June 11th. So that's coming up pretty soon, a couple days. Chick-fil-A summer menu. These honey pepper pinto chicken sandwiches are really good. I'm glad they brought these back, but I'm going to have to hold myself back from going multiple times because they are really good. I'm just a fan of pimento cheese in general. I think I've had the peach milkshake or lemonade, one or the other. These are good as well. And then pineapple dragon fruit beverages. You can get Sprite, lemonade, frosted lemonade, or Sunjoy with the pineapple dragon fruit mixed in. And I think we saw these somewhat recently, didn't we? But mug root beer floats vanilla howler, both 0 sugar and original. And these are going to be in bottles and cans. I'm not a big, and I know Jess isn't either. We're not big mug fans of all root beers, but I'd try it if I can, especially if I find the bottles. Hello Kitty spam. I don't love the implication immediately that I was like, is it Hello Kitty flavor? Am I going to eat what? But it shows her holding a spam musubi there. So, but it's just really, it took me out for a second. I was like, you get a chance to win a tour. A tour de sizzle, whatever that means. Odyssey Trojan Horse popcorn bucket. It opens right here and does not hold that much popcorn, which is typical these days. I shouldn't complain about it anymore because that's just how it is. But I think that you should use this to be an actual Trojan horse to someone, and you bring it to them, and they're like, "Hey, this is the popcorn bucket," and you open it up, and it's like spiders come out or something. Then Texas barbecue versus Kansas City barbecue flavored cup noodles at Walmart. I'm not convinced either way. If I see them, I'll try it. My Walmart doesn't seem to get a lot of the ramens and cup noodles and stuff. I've seen like one of the weird collaborative ones. I think it was just like a taco one or something, but they don't get all these other ones. So if I see it, I'll try it. They're usually like $1 or something. So, and that is it. Actually, we're done. So we'll run back on the questions and comments. So we got like a question. Any thoughts of minus Tirith? Just wondering if you would do to get the Denethor mod. I don't really care much about like mods and whatnot. And I also honestly am not a big minifigure guy. So I know a lot of people get excited about the sets because of based on what minifigures are going to be included. But for me, like I don't even have most of my minifigures displayed. Like there's a bag right here that I just haven't done it yet because I don't really I care more about the build. But I do intend on getting the set when I can, but of course it's expensive, and I have my like I guess tiers of hobbies. Like manga and comics are above Lego for me, so I have to be caught up and then I'll get it. What up, dude?
What's up, man? Coming at you live from the back rooms.
Really, man? That's what it looks like.
I just realized that. I was like, oh shit, am I in the back rooms? I didn't realize it.
I just talked all about all the upcoming foods and stuff. I did some Puerto Rican snack tasting.
Mm-hmm.
Freddie sent me some snacks, and then I also did talk about. I finally got the stuff, the 50% more.
Okay.
I got all 3 of the flavors finally.
Okay.
So I did go over that. I was just pulling up some questions and comments that I had while I was going through the news and stuff.
Yeah, dude. Is it just you? Is Jess not on tonight?
Yeah, he's busy pooping for the day, I guess. I don't know.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. I literally lost track of time. I apologize. I would have been on sooner. That's on me.
You're good. I just assumed that I was gonna go solo, but so we did all that stuff. We're getting pretty close to the end, but
Okay.
I guess we're gonna be open to be able to talk about whatever we want to.
Cool.
Just go through these remaining comments real quick.
Yeah, dude.
More sugar than I think you can dissolve in that amount of liquid. I don't know what these were in response to, but that's all good. That could be about anything. There's so much sugar in literally everything I was showing. The cows, something was cursed. Spam Museum, very close to Mankato. Spam Museum. And Wild Lou showed up. So we're all caught up. So, how's it been? What's going on?
Mm-hmm. It's all right, man. I can't complain. It's been busy. It's been busy, and like this whole past year has just been wild with like medical stuff and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man. Unfortunately, my wife got laid off this past week.
Oh,
but
gosh.
Yeah, dude. But that's going around. She's like the 4th person in my circle that I know that have gotten laid off in like the past 2 to 3 months. It's crazy out there right now. Outside of that, how'd you like the stuffed Pop-Tarts? I actually liked the I got the cinnamon one. I think it was like caramel cinnamon, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it.
My thank you for saying hi.
Hey,
from you. I got all 3. I tried them all. And I think my favorite was the cinnamon caramel. which I
Yeah.
didn't expect. I didn't expect that to be my favorite, but it was a really solid flavor. And it was like just enough filling too.
Mm-hmm.
The strawberry was very good. It tastes like old strawberry Pop Tarts tasted. Like
Yeah.
it's nostalgic, and it really gives the perspective of like how much they've changed those Pop Tarts over the years. Like they've
Yeah.
definitely skimped out on the filling. The chocolate one was disappointing to me, and I put it in the toaster because it's literally called molten lava cake, and it's like it didn't affect the chocolate at all, and I was pretty disappointed with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if maybe I should try to microwave it to make it more gooey or something, but it just the flavor was not completely there. It's not bad. I can still eat it, but
Yeah.
like just not as good as I wanted it to be. Um, but I'm glad I finally got them. I've been trying to find them forever.
So I'm glad you pointed it out because I have noticed over the last few years, because there was a point in time where had completely I haven't eaten Pop Tarts in a while, right? It was like high school to like my almost 30, and then I got with my girlfriend at the time, who is my now wife, and she has a child, and her, our my stepdaughter loves Pop Tarts. So I was like, all right, well, let me give Pop Tarts a try. It's been a while since I've had one, and she had a strawberry one. I'm like, this tastes like cardboard. There's no taste. Where's the filling? There's nothing to this at all. So I'm not crazy in thinking that, right? Like it seems like they changed it from when we were kids. And it was kind of the same deal when I had Cocoa Puffs for the first time in years the other night, where I tasted the Cocoa Puffs and I'm like, there's no chocolate taste to this. There's almost nothing here. What happened? So it seems like either there was serious nostalgia glasses going on, or things have changed so much, and maybe my taste buds are just shot at this point or something, because it doesn't taste the same as I recall.
That's what I said earlier in the show when I was talking about it is that eating Pop Tarts, I kept thinking they tasted different than I remembered, but I was like, I don't know if it's because I'm remembering falsely. I'm just like you said, nostalgia glasses, like remembering it more fondly than it actually was, or
Mm-hmm.
have my taste buds changed because that happens. And then you start seeing like everyone talk about it, and then eventually, and it's not just with stuff like Pop Tarts, but like I think Reese's was another thing that people brought up that they changed the recipe for the peanut butter,
Yeah.
and then you see people pop up and talk about it who like are connected to or are directly part of the companies, and like, there are people that confirm like yeah they've changed things about the way that these are made, and I was like oh man. But yeah, if you want to get a blast from the past, those ultra stuffed strawberries,
Yeah.
that is exactly what they used to taste like
Okay, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go.
from
Um,
my memory at least.
I have a question for you, and I don't know how soon you want to wrap up. That's perfectly fine. I came in late, but have you seen Backrooms yet? And what do you think?
Yes, I did. I enjoyed it pretty well.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think, and I want to preface by saying I have almost no context
Mm-hmm.
aside from just knowing the concept of what it is.
Okay.
So I didn't go in there with like knowledge of the whole lore and like all of Kane Parsons's Backrooms videos. I watched like 2 of his videos, and I was just like, conceptually, I understand what he's doing here. So the movie for me like stood entirely apart, and I enjoyed it on a lot of levels.
Mm-hmm.
And on one big level, it was interesting to me that a kid that was born in '06 was making something that was so nostalgic for the 90s.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think he did a terrible job of it,
No, he didn't.
of like the way that things looked and felt and stuff at that
Mhm.
time. But I think there's a lot that worked for me as far as like the whole liminal spaces as a horror concept. Just the wide open spaces are kind of freaky, and going in somewhere that's usually more populated and it's just empty and eerie and stuff, and having what's really the opposite of most horror that you get now, where everything is usually very dark and dimly lit and obscuring what you're seeing in the movie to
Yeah.
make it scarier. And this is just bright yellow. Everything is out there. Like you can see everything that's in the frame clearly.
Mm-hmm.
I It was a very different feeling for me. But there's other similar things that exist in the same vibe, I guess, that really work for me.
Okay.
So I may have been predisposed on this one.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm glad it worked for you. This, I had almost the total opposite reaction as you. It did not work for me almost at all. What I said was, I was genuinely impressed that it was a 20-year-old that made this. I was like, man, kudos to you. That's
Mhm.
impressive. And I know there was some backlash online where people were like, oh, there's no way that he did this. He's only 20 years old. Da da da. Da. And some of the producers have come out and said, no, he really directed this and stuff like that. And kudos to that kid, but it did not work for me on a. I I was kind of, just me personally, I was bored of it. I was like, okay, you've got a really good hook. It's really interesting what you're doing here. The whole concept of like phasing into another kind of pocket dimension and what's going on here, and you're setting up the lore, and that's really cool, and I'm really digging that a lot. Um, but the characters I didn't care about. I was like, okay, well, you've got Chue Del Ejiofor. I think I said that right. And he's a bit of a drunk, and he's, you know, just really not a good person, to be honest with you. He's kind of a jerk. Um, and he's bitter, and then I didn't feel he really had too much of an arc. He's got his little moment towards the end where they kind of crowbar something in there, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, you made something happen there. Um, but it didn't work for me, and maybe it was, I have no exposure to the back rooms. I went in like you. I have almost no exposure to the back rooms other than what my 15-year-old told me. And she's like, hey, this is the general concept of what's going on. I was like, all right, cool. And I really wanted to love it. I really did, but it did not click for me as much as I really wanted to. Not only that, I wasn't afraid. I don't know if it's billed as a horror movie or not. That's how I took it as, but
Yeah.
it didn't work for me like that. There was a part where there's like a Christmas tree in a room and it's dark and everybody in my theater is freaking out, and I'm going, it's a
Yeah.
fucking Christmas tree in a room and it's dark, guys. I mean, are you some of y'all during Christmas must be shitting your pants when you come down to get your gifts in the morning or something. But it didn't work for me. I wanted it to. I really, really did, man. But it doesn't help that I saw Obsession. My second time watching Obsession was earlier that week, and I loved it even more the second time.
Yeah, there's no there's no jump scares or anything, so that definitely like separates it from a lot of horror. It's just like a lingering feeling
Mm-hmm.
rather than being like a in your face type of thing that and I don't want to say that necessarily made me feel scared either. I think at some point in my life I got around to where I'm like, most of this stuff doesn't really scare me, so like
Yeah.
I don't judge it on that aspect as much as maybe I should.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it worked for different reasons for me, and I one of the things that I came out thinking about it is like, and I've kind of seen it, this thought of mine kind of confirmed, is it's it's a piece of everything else, like
Mm-hmm.
the web series that he made and this, it coexist in the same narrative, but this is like one select experience that someone is having with the backrooms. And this, I believe, fits narratively in the timeline. It's before what I've read. It's before the web series,
Mm.
so it might give a little bit of setup. But they are doing a sequel, and I don't know what direction they're going to go with that. If they're going to
Yeah.
like Hollywoodize it and try to have him continue the story of these characters, or if they're going to let him make another, like, because what I would do if it was me, and I'm not a director, but what I would do is be like, let's go over here and see this individual's experience with the back rooms, and then have it have a little thread that ties in with the, Mark Duplass's. Either way, good time for horror right now.
Yes,
and
very much so.
Very exciting to see what's going to be happening in the next several years with horror movies.
Yeah, it's really cool seeing these YouTubers making their way and breaking into the industry and doing a lot of really cool shit. And I'm really excited to see what happens in the next few years. I know what's his face, the dude from Obsession. He's
Curry Barker.
Yeah, Curry Barker is doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre now, apparently.
Yeah, and he also already has a follow-up, like his own film, not a franchise movie, I guess I should say. Working on that, I think should come out next year, is what they were saying.
Yeah, it's with Aaron Paul. It's something Ghost. I can't remember the name of it. But
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that one's supposed to like be existing in the same universe as Obsession, but not like not a sequel or anything like that.
Did you ever see his YouTube 45-minute film, Cereal and Milk, or Milk and Cereal?
Yeah, I saw it. I want to say about a year ago.
It's really good.
I enjoyed that one. I thought it was really enjoyable, and it definitely, because I was already familiar with him through like comedic skits and stuff.
Yeah.
And it definitely showed me like, okay, this guy's got some chops. Like he's gonna be able to do some stuff. But yeah, he's gonna be one to look out for, and I think there's gonna be more people popping up. That we're gonna see pulled from different platforms. It's like back in previous generations, you cut your teeth on doing commercials and music videos, and now they're basically able to use platforms like YouTube as a portfolio to show like, hey, this is what I do. Yeah. And it's, I think, pretty effective.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of these guys. Every studio now is going to be like, all right, we need another Kane Parsons, or we need, what's this dude's name from Backrooms, and Curry Barker. We need another one of those. Let's go online, find a bunch of these guys. There's got to be somebody else out there that can give us a hit with something original and stuff like that, which means we're probably going to get a lot of really shitty stuff coming in the next few years, and maybe some really good stuff too. So
yeah, there's I don't know if you saw, I'm getting my charger because my computer's going to die. I don't know if you saw, what is it called, Talk to Me and Bring Her Back, those two. You didn't see those?
Oh, I loved them. I love both of them.
Yeah, those were also YouTubers. So like, this little 1-2 punch that we're getting kind of brought a lot of attention to the fact, and then also since we had some other stuff earlier, but all right, I'm plugged in now. But now people are giving more attention because they're like, oh, we had 2 YouTubers right back to back, but we've had some good ones happening already. Let me go back to the comments, because Dave Johnson is right. It would be a good time to talk about IST. Congrats on your first order. I hope that you got some cool stuff. I know this week was Web of Spider-Man Volume 2, which is a big, cool, exciting book. I don't remember if there was another Omni that was coming out this week that was big, but I did order some manga myself. The exciting manga for me was that they got in stock all 4 volumes of Veil from Udon, and I have been unable to find Veil at all since Volume 1 came out. So I was very excited to see them get all 4. Like they did a reprint recently, I guess. But yeah, IST, check out our sponsor of the show, helping to support us to do what we do for years now, and buy some cool stuff. Great deals on all of your comics and manga. Free shipping in the US if you spend $50, 2% off if you've made an order within the past 8 days. Great packaging, great customer service, instocktrades.com. Just watched Obsession this Saturday, really good, and I'm usually not a fan of horror movies.
It was the same thing with my wife. My wife is not a fan of horror movies, and she watched Obsession, and she loved the hell out of it.
It's the type of thing that makes a horror fan out of people.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you like, man, is this what I'm missing? Like, I need to get some more horror movies in. It's funny that you bring this up because I just rewatched it the other day. We're watching a bunch of frick, what's the John Waters movies?
Mm-hmm.
And so we watched because we went to the store and found copies of both. We went to Half Price Books and they had copies of Hairspray, the original John Waters, and then the remake, and then they also had Crybaby, and so we picked up all of those. And I had never seen OG Hairspray. I'd never seen Crybaby. For that matter, I don't think I'd ever seen. Wait, no, scratch that. Before this, the only John Waters movie I'd ever seen was Serial Mom, but I wasn't aware that it was a John Waters movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a little marathon. We did Hairspray, New Hairspray, Crybaby, and then I was like, oh my gosh, this movie Serial Mom is also by John Waters. It's on whatever streaming service. We should watch it. So we did kind of a trio of his movies all in one night, and it was fantastic. Have you seen Serial Mom?
I've not. I haven't even seen Crybaby. In fact, I was gonna pull up John Waters' filmography because off the top of my head, I don't know what he's done. I probably have seen something.
The first like 6 or so movies he did were mostly with Divine, and then after Divine died, which was like after he did Hairspray, then he did Crybaby and Serial Mom, and then the next one is Pecker, I think.
Yeah.
Which has Edward Long in it.
Okay, so I have not seen any John Waters movies. I'm just realizing that.
I am the ones that I've watched, fantastic. Like I have become a big fan. And I had already seen Serial Mom, and it's a lot of fun. I think it's on Tubi right now.
Okay.
So you can watch it there. I think Crybaby is playing somewhere as well, and that one I loved. I literally like standing ovation. I got up on the couch and was like, "This is amazing." I'm not even a Johnny Depp fan, but that movie was so much fun. Just a great time. So fun to thank you for bringing up Serial Mom because it was a fun excuse to talk about that weekend. The John Travolta Hairspray is fun too. I think I prefer the original, but if you like musicals more, then the original is surprisingly not a musical. It's weird. It's kind of, it makes it like a lot more streamlined because they're not, singing the whole time.
I have never seen Hairspray with John Travolta.
That was fun as well. It's not bad.
He's dressed as a woman in that, right? He plays a female character in that movie.
Yes, because the original movie had Divine, who was a drag queen.
Oh, cool.
And so Divine played the mom. And when the movie got adapted for the stage, I think traditionally they would have a drag queen playing the mom throughout the live performances. And then they had John Travolta take the role on when they did the film adaptation of the musical adaptation of the original film. They brought Travolta in there. What I realized also, which was kind of fun, is it's been the same amount of time between the original Hairspray and the remake with Travolta.
Oh my God.
The same amount of time between those two as between the Travolta movie and now.
Yeah.
So now would be the time that they should be making another remake of Hairspray.
Oh, well, it'll be a Netflix series. It'll be like a Netflix miniseries. Kevin Hart will be one of the characters in there. The Rock might be another character, and I don't know. I don't know.
The Rock playing the mom for some reason. No, I think if they did a new one, they need to go back to the drag queen tradition.
They do, yeah, of course,
that way. But I don't know. It'd be fun. And also, speaking of John Waters, and this is a very thin string that I'm segueing across. We also watched, and I've seen these movies so many times, but we watched Jackass 1 through 4 to
Nice.
get ready for Jackass 5.
Nice.
John Waters is in, I think the first or second one. He's in a single scene, and because Johnny Knoxville was in one of John Waters' movies, so they did a little crossover with that. And now people are getting upset. There's a bunch of chuds on the internet who are like upset because the Jackass crew was in the Pride
Oh,
Parade in
please.
Hollywood, and everyone's like, Jackass has been the gayest show for 20 years, and y'all are now getting upset.
Now you're getting mad.
Like, literally, there was one of them where Bam was like, "We're about to get gay, so if you don't like this stuff, get out of here." Like, Johnny Knoxville I was reading an interview from a while ago, someone posted, and he like had an interview with Vanity where they're like something like veiled homosexuality, and he's like, veiled? I take offense of the fact that you're not acting like it's just there.
Oh my gosh, man. There is, and it reminds me of a certain section of the internet that is, it took them about 4 seasons of The Boys to realize, oh, they're making fun of me. Yes, they are. Since season fucking 1, they've been making fun of you, but it took you 4 seasons to get there. And part of you had mentioned the last time I think we spoke about The Boys, you were like, I really don't like this show anymore. And now that the series has ended and kind of looking back on it, and I am starting to share your feelings towards the character of Homelander, where I'm like, yeah, I really don't like this character anymore, even in the sense of a villain, but it's coming more from the perspective that there are idiots out there that actually idolize this dude, and I'm like, you really did not get anything at all from that show for 5 seasons, didn't you? And there were people online that were going, oh man, Homelander, he really should have just nuked the entire world and stuff like that. I can't believe he died like a bitch like that. I'm like, that is the whole point of the fucking character, is that he's pathetic. He's pathetic without his powers.
From the beginning, like you could see that, like if you're paying attention to the show, which I'm guessing a lot of people weren't, he has always been that way because he's always throwing a fit, tantrums when he's not getting it. Every time he does anything, like when he does his big showboats of power, is when he's throwing a fit. He's being a little bitch boy about stuff. So of course, the moment he doesn't have that, he's gonna cry and say that he'll do everything to like be able to live. Like, of course he's that way.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been, but I was surprised to see so many people not get it. And I thought that was the best way to take him out, like not have it be some massive grandstand, but them finally just taking him out. Like, of all the parts of this last season, that was the thing I had the least issue with, was how he got taken out.
Yeah. I have my problems with the last season. I think overall it was solid. I don't think it was a train wreck or anything like that. Like some people were overreacting online. But I thought it was a solid conclusion to that story overall. Yeah, there are little things here and there that I'm like, I could have changed that. Da, 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 da. But for the most part, it was fun. It was a good ending to the show. And I don't know if I'm going to be back for the Soldier Boy spinoff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I like Jensen. I like Jensen Ackles, I think is what his name is. I like him. I like the character of Soldier Boy. But I don't know. I think my time with the boys has come to an end. I finished the series and I was happy with it. Like, I think I'm good.
I'll say at the very least, the last season was a improvement over season 4.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. No, I was not a fan. I think season 4 is the weakest season of the bunch. I think if I were to ever go back and rewatch the series, I'd be like, I'm gonna skim through some of this stuff in season 4. But yeah, you do know the new Jackass movie is like a mixture of unused footage, some new footage and stuff like that, and like old footage.
Is it significantly because I know like they use like archive footage to like show like they did in credits and stuff before, or is it supposed to be like significantly made up of archival footage?
My understanding, and again, I haven't seen it, is that it's a lot of archival footage, stuff that got left on the cutting room floor, a lot of extended clips. Like there, so Bam was notoriously not in the last film because there were problems with his drug use and stuff like that, and staying sober and things. And I'm not going to get into it here. But that stuff has apparently been put back in, so that's going to be in there. There's like a whole bunch of other stuff and some new footage. Like there's the clip online where Steve-O is getting a proctology exam or whatever it's called from a robot, and it looks hilarious. So I want to see that, but I think I might just hold out for it to be on streaming and watch it then.
They already use a lot of the. That's what those 0.5 movies are,
Right?
like when they use stuff that didn't make it into the final film, and it was there's even this part in the fourth one where Zach, the new guy, was like, everything I say is going to get cut and put into 4.5. But
I mean, Knoxville can't take much more, man. He said
Oh my
he gets
God.
one more concussion and he's pretty much done. So he's like, yeah, he doesn't do as much as he used to.
the
The last bull stunt fucked him up bad, man.
you know it's crazy like watching them in succession, and he does those specifically the bulls and the buffalo and whatnot. Like every movie he was doing that stuff, and it gets worse for him every single time.
Yeah.
Like he was not trying to reel it back at all.
No.
So I'm like, y'all, like, you got the new people, like you can pass the torch.
Yeah.
You obviously they're not as entertaining, but you gotta take a chance with that, I think. And I think it could make for a perfect. I don't know what television is anymore, but like if they did a TV series and had like, Knoxville hosting it, and like they have like older members guesting like while the newer people do the stuff, which is the fact that they brought in a bunch of new people was funny because they've warned us for 20 years not to try these stunts at home.
Yeah.
And they went and hired people who did try these stunts at home. And these kids are coming on like, oh, man, I used to watch Jackass when I was a kid way before I should have. And then I was doing the stunts, and then they got me on the show. And I'm like, you bastards. Like, you told me I could have been, doing horrible things to my body for years, and I could have made it on Jackass. Wow.
I'm amazed that none of them have died yet, with the exception of I think it was Ryan Dunn.
Yeah, but he died outside of it was a car accident outside of the show.
Yeah. I'm amazed none of them, and out of all of them that have come out apparently on the other side of this, the best, Steve-O. What? Like, I mean, I'm happy for him because he's been sober for a very long time. I'm like, good for you, dude. You seem like you got your shit together. The tattoos are weird that you've got on you now, but hey, it seems like you've kind of got it mostly together. I'm like, Steve-O is the one that came out the best out of the whole group. That Chris Pontius, but you don't ever hear really anything about Chris Pontius other than when he does the movies.
Yeah, he kind of disappears, but the Wild Boys, man, they're keeping it together. They're great, and it's such a fun, like every several years, just going through these movies again is always a fun time. It's really reminiscent of like the time when these things were coming out, and just thinking back to, hanging out with my friends, and then all of us are like, we should jump off the roof on a skateboard, and I'm like,
yeah,
we do that.
We did a lot of dumb shit. We did the shopping cart stuff that Bam used to do on CKY. We did that too. It was not fun.
I off-roaded with like my friends hanging on to the outside of my car. I did donuts in a lot, like an abandoned like area. And they're hanging out on the outside, like trying to hang on. Like that's the most that I really did. And I was like nothing.
Good shit. Good shit.
All right, I gotta jump back on to work before I
Right,
get in trouble for not working. But thanks for popping in at the end and
yeah.
talking.
Sorry I couldn't be on sooner, man. I had
Fine.
I
I
got I got medication for this neck thing, and it makes me a little forgetful and sleepy. So that's something I'm gonna have to deal with once I get back to work in July. So I gotta figure that out.
It is all good. We're not I had plenty to do, so we're all good here. Go ahead and Gato said it's always been a guilty pleasure. I much prefer Jackass over Bad Grandpa, but I'm glad that Bad Grandpa
Me
has
too.
its fans as well.
Me too.
Uh, link to the Discord, link to my YouTube, and yeah, y'all. Thanks so much for watching this crazy little show. We talk about snacks and comics and movies and who knows what else, but appreciate y'all being here, and we'll see you again. I'll be on Thursday, and then they'll do a Monday show with, I guess, neither of us, and then we'll be back on Tuesday to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, peace out, y'all.
Good night, everybody.